You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. All right, Saturday is going to be a really big day for LSU football. Shelton Sampson, the five-star wide receiver out of Cali High, has announced he's going to make his commitment Saturday at 3:06. Shelton Sampson wears number 6 for Catholics, so he's going to make his commitment on the 6th at 3:06 p.m. So Saturday, 3:06 p.m., he'll make the announcement over at the campus at Catholic High. He's deciding among his final 4. He's got LSU, Alabama, Florida State, and Texas A&M. Of course, it is worth mentioning that former Catholic High head coach Gabe Fertitta is now an analyst at Florida State, likely the reason, or one of the reasons, why Shelton Sampson has Florida State among his final 4. The other 3 are pretty self-explanatory. To look at the particulars there with Sampson, he's a 5-star. He is in the 247 composite, the number 33 player in the country. He's the 4th best wide receiver and the number 3 player in Louisiana, behind only, of course, Arch Manning and Derek Williams, the safety, who is now committed to Texas. You might remember, well, maybe you don't, but I'll refresh your memory. In the summer of 2020, remember, COVID had hit, and a lot of recruits were not able to take recruiting visits because there were no camps, nothing was happening, in person. So the aforementioned Gabe Fertitta, who was at the time the head coach at Catholic High, had what they called the Cur-Dog Combine. And it was essentially what amounts to a camp, a combine of sorts, and they streamed live video of it for coaches and recruiters around the country to see their athletes. And they did 40s, and they did the 40 and the broad jump and the vertical and all the combine drills, right? And Shelton Sampson, after that, is when he gained the most notoriety because he popped off in a huge way. He measured barefoot, measured 6'4". So a lot of times measurements are fudged. Shelton Sampson was measured barefoot at 6'4", and then when he ran the 40, the number popped that he immediately got offers from coaches that had never even seen him before. This was Gabe Fertitta on AFR explaining what happened with Shelton Sampson that day. This was in the summer of 2020.
He ran his first 40, and we had 2 stopwatches on each 40 track. There was 2 tracks the guys ran on. So he runs his first 40, and both coaches stop the watch. And in one of the videos, you can hear one of our coaches say, "No, no." And he says, "You show me yours, I'll show you mine." And so they show each other the clock, and they both dead on had 4:35. So then I said, "No, I don't believe it." So he ran his second one. Every kid ran 240s. And his second one, we had 3 watches. He ran 4:39 dead on the other 2 coaches, and I had him at 4:40 on my watch.
So in 2 different 40-yard dash attempts, and Paul, if you want to pull, this was the video of it that Catholic posted at the time of the 40. 4:35 and then 4:39 or 4:40 in his 240 attempts. This, by the way, was 2 years ago when Shelton Sampson was a rising sophomore. He had just finished his freshman year and was going into his sophomore year. Because of this, the Cur-Dog Combine, this is when Shelton Sampson started getting immediate offers, just offer after offer after offer. And then subsequently, he's done nothing to dissuade anyone from thinking that he's going to be an incredible prospect. And Shelton Sampson's going to make his announcement on Saturday. And, of course, I think a lot of people who've been around the Baton Rouge area remember Shelton Sampson Sr. His dad was a phenomenal high school football player at Redemptress. One of them played collegiately. Now Shelton Jr. is at Catholic. He's had a phenomenal career. It's been interesting to watch him as teams shade toward him and do everything they can to try to eliminate him from an offensive game plan. And few have been able to do so successfully. He's just physically that gifted. But for all the reasons that we continue to discuss, like, last week when Tyree Adams committed to LSU, the offensive lineman out of St. Aug, The same holds true here with Shelton Sampson. You're talking about an in-state kid, and not just an in-state prospect, but a premier in-state prospect who's got offers from all the major programs. Literally everybody can go anywhere. These are the types of recruiting battles that Brian Kelly and his staff have just got to win. They've just got to win battles like this. And it's been Joe Sloan and Cortez Hankton primarily recruiting him. And Sloan, of course, when he was at Louisiana Tech, not only recruited North Louisiana there around Ruston, but his prime area was Baton Rouge, New Orleans. And, of course, Cortez Hankton is the receivers coach at LSU. So we'll find out on Saturday, but if you look at the crystal balls that all the recruiting services put out, I mean, it's essentially unanimous. Everybody's putting, in crystal balls for Shelton Sampson to LSU, and it would just be a massive get, because that's when the little mini meltdown happened last month when Derek Williams picked Texas and Arch Manning had picked Texas. Eli Holstein had gone A&M, then Bama, and you're not even in the mix for Jaden Osbury. The little mini meltdown was, hey, why isn't LSU in for these best prospects in Louisiana? And a lot of that just takes time to cultivate those relationships and build and develop, and then get those guys to stay home. This would be a very important step in that direction to get a guy like Shelton Sampson from Baton Rouge just to go from Hearthstone to Dalrymple and stay at LSU. So we'll know for sure on Saturday when he makes his pledge. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.